are these people?
A lot of people like to bring Carey
But
Wedler.
wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more fuckery. Carey Wedler, pleasure to burn. I love her stuff. And people like her videos. She's clever and she's hilarious. But she also writes really good stuff. And a lot of people wouldn't bring this one, but I wanted to specifically because I knew a lot of people wouldn't. But it's really good. She says this is that Palantir-Linked Executives are helping to launch a new propaganda film venture, framing it as an all-American counter to Hollywood, but so far it's nothing more than imperial agitprop. And it's also laundering genocide in Gaza. You know, Hollywood has had quite a bit of pushback, but now she's reporting on this, and this was the other day on the 24th on Thursday. Palantir-linked tech executives are reportedly helping raise funds for a film production company that intends to make pro-U.S. government movies. According to a new article from Semaphore this week, Founders Films, and remember who owns the Founders Fund? A guy named Pete, a Dallas-based production company, is entering the culture war to fight for American nationalism and exceptionalism. The new company is backed by founding Palantir Chief Technology Officer Shyam Sankar, who recently joined the Army as a lieutenant colonel with several other big tech executives. This new Detachment 201 was reportedly
crazy.
Bonkers. Was reportedly Sankar's idea.
It's
so now
insane.
The tech bros got lieutenant colonel fucking commissions.
They just gave him some stripes, dude. Here you go. Here's your stripes.
Other backers.
What a fucking shit show we're in.
Other backers include a former head of business development for Palantir, Ryan Podolsky, an investor, Christian Garrett. Garrett's firm is invested in government contractor companies like SpaceX, Palantir, and Anduril. Anduril is currently working on AI drone warfare for the military and was just granted an effective monopoly via the big, beautiful bill on supplying the autonomous surveillance towers to U.S. Customs and Border Protection. That's not good. These three men are reportedly raising money for the new film endeavor. For context, Palantir, again, is a politically entrenched software, AI, and data analysis corporation that was partially funded early on by In-Q-Tel, which is the CIA's investment wing. They were implicated in Snowden's 2013 releases and have contracts with numerous U.S. government agencies, including the Pentagon, CDC, ICE, and the IRS by way of the Department of Government Efficiency. How convenient. They recently came under extensive scrutiny from the fuck you New York Times, okay? And they reported that they were helping Trump compile a centralized database on Americans, which the company vehemently denied as they were doing it. Palantir co-founder Peter Thiel and his associates have extensive ties to the current administration. However, they also have ties to the CIA and In-Q-Tel. However, as with many nefarious political arrangements, Palantir's government profiteering is not limited to Republican administrations. Further, Palantir provides services to governments outside the U.S., remember, and recently brought the AI-driven Project Maven, which it built for the Pentagon, to NATO. So they're expanding their footprint.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure also directly involved with, like, Where's Daddy and Lavender
AI,
over there in Israel. So
a guerrilla war against the status quo, right? According to an in-depth article, Sankar posted on his Substack late last year that the Palantir CTO believes there must be a heroic challenge to the status quo that dominates Hollywood films. Why? This aligns with a recent Founders Films pitch deck obtained by Semaphore. In it, the new company decries the current state of affairs. Quote, "The American brand is broken. Hollywood is AWOL. Movies have become more ideological, more cautious, and less entertaining. Large segments of American and international viewers are underserved. production costs have soared and sales are flagging. This just screams to me. This is like the liberals have taken over Hollywood. So we're going to make our own conservative, pro-American version, right?
We're going to make Hollywood great again.
But you can be sure that they're also going to try to make Israel great again. Further in his 2024 article, Sankar accurately points out that films are a form of soft power, highlighting that governments have an interest in exporting their cultures to craft a positive image around the world. Yes, they also do predictive programming, and they embed with the military and intelligence. And they bleed out stories in advance to, again, predict, to let people kind of understand of what's about to happen and go, hey, I saw a movie about this. And that way they're much more willing to accept it when it does happen. He frames the communist Chinese regime as an arch nemesis of the United States, opining that America is in the middle of Cold War II against a communist enemy with more people, more money, and more military might than the Soviets ever had. Well, that's correct, but nothing else in that statement is. He predictably treats this...
I only liked Hollywood when it made movies like Sound of the South. That's what I bring back my movies. I guarantee you that's what we're... Like, what wasn't the other... Was it Goebbels or whatever that was like, we got to do Nazi videos, Nazi movies?
Goebbels was the...
Right, did a whole thing on that. Which one was that?
I think that was Goebbels.
Yeah.
Of course, in his version of reality,
something like that. America
is the good guy standing against oppressors and evildoers who seek to subjugate the world. This is Rich coming from the CTO of a company. Yeah, but this is literally coming from the CTO of a company helping multiple government agencies surveil the public more efficiently. On one hand, Sankar correctly identifies governments' efforts to exert soft power to influence the world in their favor. The Chinese government does exert immense influence over Hollywood studios, whose leaders are willing to bend the knee to the Chinese government in exchange for access to Chinese audiences. The NBA did the same thing, by the way. However, the Palantir CTO's apparent answer to this, Founders Films, embodies pervasive and outdated ideologies and ways of thinking. He espouses a false dichotomy that paints the U.S. as the world's moral authority. Accordingly, Founders Films wants to make films that promote American exceptionalism. Good luck. You mean American lies? In reality, the Chinese government is undeniably, the Chinese government is undeniably oppressive and corrupt, but the U.S. government is not its freedom-loving counterpart. Rather than seeking to produce thought-provoking films that explore true freedom and sincere skepticism of government and authority, Founders Films appears on track to produce traditional right-wing flavored pro-government propaganda. According to Semaphore, the production slate includes films about the 9/11 terror attacks. Hope it blames Israel, but it won't.
Terror.
Okay. The Trump administration's 2020 assassination of Iranian General Qasem Soleimani. As a good thing?
Soleimani, oh God.
The botched U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan under Joe Biden. Democrats can't do anything right. You mean under the timetable that Trump had set arbitrarily?
Yeah.
The Chinese spy operation.
Weather Balloon, the movie.
Right. Seeking to upend America's position as the dominant global power. Bro, this is comical.
It's fucking awful.
And then whitewashing and bragging about the recent U.S.-Israeli airstrikes that claimed to take out the Iranian regime's nuclear program, but didn't, of course.
Starring Jerry Seinfeld in his new role.
To complete the pro-government propaganda, the studio also plans to make a new version of Atlas Shrugged. Of course they're going to repackage Ayn Rand.
Of course. We got to fucking Ayn Rand it up. We got to.
This choice rounds out the current right-wing narrative, the age-old elevation of American exceptionalism, militarism, and government authority under the cover of libertarian, anti-government, anti-authoritarian values. In reality, military industrialism and empire are anything but libertarian. So she
One
says,
of these fucking days, libertarians will figure it the fuck out too. But till then,
ignorance is strength. Well, now we're getting into inksock language. Okay. The new venture's focus on American militarism and exceptionalism perfectly highlights the false dichotomy Sankar paints as Cold War II. As evil, quote unquote, as the Chinese regime may be, and I disagree with Carey on how evil they are, the U.S. military is no stranger to abuses and atrocities. For one, American militarism and exceptionalism have led to decades of wars that are often based on lies. As Julian Assange famously said, these wars have contributed to a massive national debt on the backs of regular Americans, not to mention the immense toll on soldiers fighting these endless wars, not to mention the opportunity cost of things we could have been doing with that money and time instead. Nobody ever talks about what's been sacrificed that way. The advances in technology that weren't for military gain. More explicitly, U.S. troops and those who command them have committed grave inhumanities. A sampling of morally egregious acts includes the My Lai massacre in Vietnam, torture in Afghanistan, ongoing airstrikes that have killed countless civilians, Obama's drone program, the use of depleted uranium, and turning a blind eye to child sex abuse in Afghanistan and everywhere else for that matter. It appears
still irradiated, by the way.
It appears the success of the new film company rests on the mental gymnastics Orwell once described. The nationalist not only does not disapprove of atrocities committed by his own side, but he has a remarkable capacity for not even hearing about them. Sounds like Israel. Despite Sankar's stated desire to challenge the status quo, his vision and that of Founders films are aligned with the establishment. Indeed, Sankar refers to Top Gun as an American ideal film. You mean the gay anthem? Oh my God.
Oh my God.
As it happens, Top Gun is one of countless movies directly influenced by the U.S. government. The Pentagon enjoyed say over the film's script. The Pentagon enjoyed say over the film's script in exchange for consulting and providing equipment to make the movie more realistic. The 2022 sequel.
Pentagon.
Yeah, those guys.
Pentagon.
Almost certainly had the same military influence, the sequel. Okay. The original 1986 film also reflects the power of cinema in shaping people's opinions and perceptions. It provided a small but significant boost to naval recruitments. And I know people that definitely joined the military because of Top Gun. Right? So she says the longstanding relationship between Hollywood and the U.S. government, which encompasses not just the Pentagon, but agencies like CIA and the FBI, has produced inarguably pro-government films. All of them are pro-government. They're not allowed to be... Look at Transformers. Jesus Christ. The film products of this relationship...
All of them. What do you mean? Everything that uses any military fucking equipment ever is fucking propaganda shit. So... Which the other half of Hollywood is just propaganda. So, one of the two.
Yeah, pretty much. The film products of this relationship reinforce the same image of the American government that the Palantir-Linked production company seeks to boost. Unsurprisingly, right-wing culture warriors rarely decry this flavor of Hollywood propaganda. It's unclear whether Founders films will seek a similar relationship with government agencies, but it wouldn't be surprising. Actually, it would be the most obvious thing that I can imagine. All right. And of course, outcomes are greater than intentions. Far from being a true challenge to oppressive ideological influence, Founders Films is on track to reinforce the same pro-government narratives, culture wars, false left-right dichotomy, and polarization that have long plagued media, politics, and society at large. While Sankar may be correct that Hollywood has rolled over for the communist Chinese regime, and that the film industry needs fresh content because they do keep recycling sequels and prequels and and offshoot stories and
yeah, it's just fucking
right. Regurgitating
it's
establishment
always that ruins things.
Regurgitating establishment propaganda tropes from decades past is hardly an effective solution. Perhaps the Palantir executive-backed film company is knowingly perpetuating harmful, subservient ideologies as an intentional push to subjugate people's minds. Maybe. Or perhaps the new project is merely a reflection of their own sincere, albeit propagandized beliefs. It may be a bit of both. It's not. Either way, their true intentions matter less than the end result, conditioning people to revere their jingoistic overlords as liberators and encourage affection and reverence for good authoritarians. Again, Carey, I disagree with you on the Chinese communist stuff and
China.
How they're evil and authoritarian and they're the big bad guy that we have to worry about in the future. They're already the world dominant global power, and they're going to be for the rest of our lives. Like it, don't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
They don't give a fuck. There are too many of them that we can't stop them. Please support the media you want to see. We certainly don't get monetized by YouTube for this. Our channel, INN, is not monetized. My other channel, youtube.com/@indie@INN, is monetized. You could leave a super chat there, but please don't. Do it at one of these other places if you can. Cash App, $ Indie News Network, ko-fi.com/Indie News Network, paypal.me/Indie News Network. IndieNewsNow.com is our website that has a keep the media free section where you can do that. And then at the Substacks at INNnewsletter.com and at IndieMediaToday.com, where we are, again, live right now. Support independent media because we need it more than ever. I'll see you next week. I love you all. And have a good one, everyone.
See you in a bit, fam.
Ciao, baby.
We gonna out of here.
No! We just fucking lost the stream.
I guess this isn't such an awful place. Is that what you want me to say? You prove it's possible to sleep for days, and I still think you're right here awake. The cost of living isn't much to make, but God, it's so hard to say. And when they told you everything was safe, were you safe? Were you safe?